Good evening, Deep Reality investigators. Rock uploaded a new video called V's Dimensions. An important point that V makes in his presentation is the suggestion that those Mandela effect sensitive individuals are possibly sensitive to alterations within quantum effects and space-time dynamics. The term inhabit a non-spatial preserve is used. We can easily relate to the concept that consciousness must not exist in one single point in the brain, but seemingly emerges when matter within the spatial preserve of physical 3D space operates in a harmonious fashion, resulting in an emergent property we call consciousness. Likewise, quantum effects may result in alterations we can perceive through our consciousness as non-spatial, harmonious, or catastrophic actions create an emergent property that's detected by the consciousness. I'll pin a link to this video, as well as a link that goes to the new Telegram centered on some esoteric concepts noted by V. I'm sensing a rising spirit of cataclysm this winter. I will share with you what I'm sensing. Jennifer2 Twitter account notes, "Are the sharks watching the water and fleeing for a reason?" And this is in response to an Inside Paper post about sharks swimming closer to the eastern seaboard with comment, "Sharks are amassing." Under the comments for this tweet, you see an interesting new account. This interesting looking account with a Space Force vector and a name John Pureblood Tidor post. Check timestamp date. And so he has this October 23rd post that reads, "Frozen water, deep freeze, damaged hull or locked up boat rudder or something crazy like a blizzard, Cat 3 hurricane outside Cali with tsunami and sharks on the ice like penguins." This account makes a Bitcoin prediction for December the 8th as well, saying it'll go up 10%. Given his dated birth date in the year 1998, I would say he's come quite a long way in such a short time. Okay, so we know a New York Post article was made on this topic. When you go to the article, the author notes that sharks are amassing partly because they just happen to be there and were tagged as a part of a research endeavor for sharks along the Northwest Atlantic. A representative of the shark tracking website Osearch said, "If this isn't HARP technology driving the fish over to this area through elf influence or otherwise, could there be a synchromistic reason for this imagery to appear in a collective consciousness zeitgeist at this moment in time?" The claim of tagging sharks research could possibly be correct, but this statement by Dr. Lowe from Shark Lab, California State University, that sharks are more common along the northeastern seaboard because of climate change, piques my antenna. From my own efforts, I can tell you that any attempt at narrative control by using certain keywords tends to indicate that there's information being suppressed. Here's a current temperature map of the United States. It may be helpful to compare this map to December 4th through 7th dates across a few decades to determine if there's indeed a increasing temperature pattern over the last few years that will allow higher chance that more young sharks would dwell along the northern part of the eastern seaboard. Continuing in the spirit of cataclysm, follow the White Rabbit states, hopefully this doesn't mean they are planning on creating a tsunami with their sound blast weapons or their Rod of God technology. The latter is where they fling a projectile at high speeds into the ocean or at land if they want to destroy a city. This person's commenting on a post by The Hill. NASA says huge potentially hazardous asteroid will break into Earth's orbit next week. So the account suggesting that this may be a cover story for other clandestine technology being used. I'll now show you one of V's notes to us concerning potential for cataclysm. This is a map of the United States showing the eastern seaboard with cut marks going into it. This appears to be foreboding a mega tsunami of sorts. Rock posted a normal map of the United States overlaid on top of the previous map so you can see the extent of the cutout areas due to flooding, presumably. Now, while I don't have to remind you not to believe everything you see on the internet, I can provide a bit of reassurance at this point to also notify you that V volunteered additional info that this is not a definite future for our country. I'm prone to believe him, as I never even asked the question. This is, however, reminiscent of that same spirit of cataclysm. This particular post series was delivered early November. You may know of the Spanish Canary Island La Palma eruption that's been ongoing for the last 11 weeks. Research that's over 20 years old caused concern when it was theorized the erupting volcano could cause a shelf obliteration of about half of the island, leading to a mega tsunami affecting the east coast of the United States. This MSN weather article makes the following statement. However, even if a large part of the mountain were to fall, The idea that the waves created from the impact could travel across the entire Atlantic basin is far-fetched. According to George Pararas-Karayanis, editor of Journal Science of Tsunami Hazards, the threat of mega tsunami generation from the massive flank failures of island stratovolcanoes has been greatly overstated. I think to say travel across the entire Atlantic basin is far-fetched may be a little bit overcommittal. The horrific Indonesian tsunami of 2004 traveled across the entire Indian Ocean over 3,000 miles and hit Somalia. This graphic shows the impact of that tsunami. But to have an impact that looks something like this would be a cataclysm we've never seen, at least in recent recorded history. In the V's Dimensions video, you saw this portion of a communication where a prediction was made: Taiwan will not fall, scare event WWIII. In the context of this message, the scare event appears not to be a natural disaster, but a threat of war possibly relating to the issues between Taiwan and China. My overall thinking on the matter is that as the collective human consciousness continues to rise, with the continual building of community and transfer of accurate information, the system's mass formation hold over the minds of the world will continue to diminish, and then implied and perhaps actuated cataclysmic threats will occur as the oligarchy's trump card plays to maintain their weakening hegemony. That's all. Peace.